What do you need to forgive in order to fully heal? What do you need to forgive in order to fully heal? For myself, I had to forgive my younger self. One thing that I realized is you can only use the tools in your toolbox at that time, right? And so a lot of times we'll say things to ourselves like, oh, I should have known better. But how can you do better if you don't know better? There's a reason why that particular thing happened in the time in which it happened. And 9 times out of 10 is to make you stronger. It molds you into a better version of yourself. But if we're not careful, we'll find ourselves sitting in grief. We'll find ourselves sitting in disappointment, shame, and guilt. And none of those emotions are going to push you forward. If anything, it's just going to hinder you. I believe in, I'm big on energy and I believe in manifesting. I believe in frequencies. But those emotions of shame, guilt, grief, that keeps us vibrating on a very low frequency. And when you vibrate on a low frequency, you can't accomplish great things, right? There's probably a goal of yours that you have. Maybe you want to lose weight. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to buy a house. You want to save money. There's something that you really, really, really want to do. There's a goal of yours that you have, and you've probably had this goal of yours for years. I know for myself, a lot of the goals that I used to have, I had them for years. But because I was vibrating at a very low frequency, I was allowing myself to sit in shame and guilt. I used to be an alcoholic. I would beat myself up for things. I couldn't manifest anything, right? I couldn't work on myself. I couldn't show up for myself every day because I was vibrating at a very low frequency. Now, I vibrate at a very high frequency. I'm full of positive energy. I pour into myself. I only see the glass as half full. I no longer see the glass as half empty. And that's because I learned to forgive myself. If you're holding on to something, maybe you're holding on to a situation, a friendship, a relationship, maybe a family member did you wrong, I'm going to urge and encourage you to forgive them. And forgiveness is hard. I'm not denying that, right? And maybe it wasn't even a friend. Maybe it was something that someone did that just pissed you off, right? I'm going to encourage you to quickly remove yourself from that remove yourself from that negative energy, right? Because if you don't, all you're doing is postponing the life that you want to live because you can't show up for yourself if you're sitting around mad, if you're sitting around frustrated, anxious, sad, and depressed. Nothing good is going to come from that. If anything, things will just get worse, okay? And some may say, well, Jazz, you've been working on yourself for years, so it's easier said than done for you. That's not true. That is not true. I still go through things too. There was a particular situation that took place. I'm not going to get too much into it because I'm not too sure how I want to resolve it yet, so I don't want to say too much. But basically, I got scammed. I got scammed. And I was really mad about it. Very, very, very mad. It's a good amount of money. And again, I'm not sure how I want to resolve it, so I'm not going to say too much about it yet. But I could allow that anger fester inside of me and, oh, how could they do that? Da, 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 da. But when I sit in that type of frequency, nothing good is going to come, right? I'm not going to be able to create great content and focus on my YouTube channel. I'm not going to be able to focus on my business. So I'll probably end up overeating because I'm so mad and angry and annoyed, right? So now I'm not sticking to my fitness goals. Nothing good comes from that energy. I had to snap myself out of it, right? And part of the reason why it's taken me a while to get the issue resolved is because every time I sit down to do it, I start to fester in that negative energy that I try to remove myself from quickly. But I had to remind myself, hey, I can focus on the fact that this person did this, or I can focus on the things that make me happy, which is recording content, growing my business, working out, eating healthy, right? And when I take my mind off of that situation and I put my mind back on the things that are going good, more good things happen, right? I make more money, I lose more weight, I get in better shape, I make more videos. You have to get mentally strong. I cannot stress this enough. And the version of me that, used to vibrate low was not mentally strong either. I was the person, like, if one small thing happened, it would throw off my whole week. If one person said something to me at the right time that just was wrong, I would be depressed about it for like 2 weeks. I would sit around over and over, replay it over and over and over in my head. Why did they say that? What did I do? Oh my gosh, can you believe this? Yo, let me tell you what so and so did. I couldn't let it go. I just could not let it go. I would harp on it over and over and over again. And in the middle of doing that, all I'm doing is keeping my frequency low. And so nothing good is coming out of it. I'm not losing weight. I'm not working on the business idea that I had at that time. I'm not, thinking about the way I want my life to go in the future. I'm just sitting in this negative energy for weeks upon weeks upon weeks, and nothing good comes from that. One thing I realized is when you have something bad happen in your day and you sit around and you think about that bad thing, you ever notice how more bad things happen? And then you end up with one of those days where it's like, it feels like the day just can't get any worse. And then it still does. It still finds a way to get even worse. And for me, I realize that happens when I sit in that low frequency, right? You have to forgive yourself for whatever happened, right? It happened. Yeah, it hurt. It might have pissed you off. It might have made you cry. It didn't feel good. But you can only use the tools that you have in your toolbox at that time. You can't sit around and say, oh, I should have known better. Well, if you'd known better, you would have did better. You didn't know better, which is why you did what you did, or which is why you allowed certain things in your life. But now that you do know better, you've learned the lesson. Learn the lesson and do better next time. When you start to see the red flags, leave, right? When you start to see the yellow flags, leave. If there's something inside of you that is telling you something's not right, that's because it's not right. That's your intuition. Now learn to listen to it, right? Stop beating yourself up for things that happened. It's over with, and you have to forgive yourself, because the quicker you can forgive yourself, the quicker you can move forward, and the quicker you can start vibrating high and attracting all of the things that you wanted for your life. And sometimes people think that by forgiving someone, you are condoning their behavior. No. Forgiveness is for you. The quicker you can forgive someone for what they said or did, the quicker you can move forward for your own life. It has nothing to do with them. They got to reap what they sow. You forgiving them does not mean their life is going to go great. If anything, it's probably still going to get worse, because they don't know how to vibrate at a high frequency, which is why they're doing the negative things that they're doing in the first place, right? So their life is not going to get better. So don't think that by you forgiving them, you're giving them a pass. No, you're giving yourself a pass. You're moving forward, because there's so much life out there. There's so much stuff that you want to accomplish, but you'll never reach it if you vibrate at a low frequency, if you sit in that anger and that depression and that anxiety, okay? Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. I can't wait to read what you have to say. Also, you guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Do not forget to join the Patreon. The link is down below in my description. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.